Good afternoon, Manila. This is Roger. It's my honor to represent SAILPOINT on the stage. And also I have to thank the organizer, ISOG, arrange our session just after the raffles, because I see mountain people see all the people back to the room because of a raffle. So before the session, I just have a chat with the panel, with all the presenters. They say, "Oh, SAILPOINT, what are you doing?" "Oh, we are doing identity." "So are you SSO or MFA?" I say, "No." "Then what do you do?" I say, "I will answer you in my first slide." So in the identity space, there are three similar technologies. They share some acronyms, easy to be confused. It's a IAN, it's a PAN, it's a IGA, or EIAN, CIAN, whatever IAN. There's so many in this pillar. So the most well-known, everybody knows that, SSO, Asset Management, MFA, in my left-hand side. And also later, we will have EDWIN join me on the stage. DELINEA, they are focusing on privileged access management. And in the center of identity is SAILPOINT. We are doing the identity governance and administration. So what do we actually do? So we have three use cases for our customer. The first is we provide a single panel of glass that have the visibility who has access to what. This is the security 101. We provide the visibility. We correlate all the identity data to give you the visibility. Second, we help our customer to streamline all the access review certification to meet the compliance requirement. I believe here we have a banking, insurance, telecommunication, the mission critical infrastructure vendor, all of us, we are governed, regulated by whatever internal audit or external audit. So there's a bunch of the access review certification you have to be done, and SAILPOINT provide a platform to streamline all of these processes to avoid rubber stamp. And the third is about the operational efficiency, because we all know that every month you have 1,000 employees join your organization, change your job, leave your organization. Then how can you ensure all the process is timely done, and also just provision the right assets to the right level? So digital transformation, I think I don't need to address anymore. I think like a fourth point, EDWIN get a very good idea, right? Get very good pitch. Are we still using fax machine to communicate? Yes, a little bit, right? But will we, because of fax machine is safe, so we turn off all the digital system, including email? No, right? So digital transformation bring us the benefit, also the risk. But we have to balance the benefit and the risk. So that's why we have so many cybersecurity experts. We are sitting here to understand. So I think in the digital transformation world, it will never stop. The only thing we have to do is we have to manage the digital risk properly and balance the benefit. And so in the identity security space, I would say it's kind of overlooked. Why? And according to a recent survey, 84% of organizations, they are suffering the identity-related breach. And less than 50% of the organization, they know who has access to what. And more than half, what they are doing is they try to reduce the risk by manual. So it reminds me of a famous quote. Do hackers, they hacking your system? No, they log in your system. Why they can log in? Because your digital identity has been compromised. Then the next question is, today, I do believe everyone, we are overwhelming. There's SASE, API security, whatever, all of these security technology. Then what do you invest in your identity security to ensure your digital identity is secured, is managed, is governance to reduce your risk? So long story short, in SAILPOINT, we do the two things to help our customer. First one, who has access to what? Do you have the visibility? Second, can we enable and ensure the right people have the right access to the right resources at the right time? What is the right resources? It could be your application, could be the data, could be your infrastructure. It's on-premise or on the cloud. And you need an enterprise technology to help you to overcome these challenges. So the last one, hey, Roger, you told about this, about that, but all the vendors say you need this, you need this, you need this, right? Do I really need? I put 3 questions, and for all of us to think about, do I really need? First one, are you in highly regulated industry? I think the answer is yes. In the regulated industry, there is so many requirements, compliance, regulation, and it's so many tedious if you try to overcome manually. Second, as I said, digital transformation, we have a lot of cloud services, right? But I do believe there are still a bunch of your on-premise legacy, your in-house developed application. How do we manage that? How do we manage these applications to govern these assets? Not only in-house, but also on the cloud. The third one, how do you manage these assets in the fine-grained, or we say role-based asset control, attribute-based asset control, policy-based asset control? How do you do? And can you do it automation? Or you have to request a ticket, 24-hour turnaround time, make it happen, and we are all human. We will make a mistake, we will forget, and then you have over-provisioned assets in your system, including all of us we don't want to deal with is an orphan account, which that's how and why hackers, they can log in your system. Because all of these orphan accounts are very obviously still in most of our customers' environment. Thank you. And I will welcome Edwin for the next session from DELINEA.
Thank you, Roger, and thank you for your explanation what is spam. So I do not need to explain what is privileged access management. By the way, good afternoon, and thank you for ISOG for having us today. So I will be explaining about the current Fetscape. So as mentioned by Roger, there are many complexities now when we are becoming digital. And one of them is, of course, the ever-expanding number of identities. And these identities has their own risk. And we cannot, it's, what I can say, it's a requirement, but definitely we have to be able to control those risks. And everything is expanding. The number of endpoints are ever expanding. And not all endpoints are secured, especially when we go to the remote access. That's the new normal now and becoming the hybrid situation. And there are many applications now that are being SaaS wherein controlling and visibility is very minimal. And most of the infrastructure are moving to the clouds. And moving to the clouds becomes borderless. The current firewall previously, which we have, are no longer applicable. And instead of having a single application, most applications are now being decomposed into microservices. And that provides us more items to control. And because of that complexity, we need something to control and make them secure. The problem is, currently we're having so many applications. And to be able for us to secure those applications, we have to provide more security solutions. But even though there's different security solutions in our portfolio, there are still companies that are being attacked and hacked. And ransomware is expanding. The concept is about identity, as mentioned by Roger. Everything has identity. And in the previous time, in my previous life, it's easy to manage the specific boundaries. It is contained in one network. I can control with the perimeter defense. And the identities are minimal. And because of that, we can apply a single approach, like the concept of castle and moat. Right? Everyone that is outside of my network, you're not allowed to touch. Anyone that is inside, you're good to go. Right? But the problem is, now there are many identities and ever expanding. They are multiplying. Even the endpoints are multiplying. And the new normal of working from home. And the way we manage them is based on risk and privileges. And we need to contain them and secure them as well. The problem is, if you have a risky identity that is compromised, most of the security solutions can be bypassed, and they can move laterally within the organization. That's why we must secure the identity, and this is the reason why the identity is now the new control that we should apply in our organization. Identity and privileges. So now, here comes PAM, the Privileged Access Management. The traditional PAM only covers the traditional environment. The old method of having a PAM is to secure only the privileged users, which previously they thought that the privileged users are the IT admins only, right? And endpoints that are being secured are those servers only, and most of the time they are contained in a physical data center. But the problem is, these are now changing. Those endpoints are becoming complex. They can be a virtual machine, they can be cloud instances. The identities are expanding, and now we are working remotely. And with that problem, it's hard to manage those complexities. And how about the DevOps team? How about those SaaS applications that we're applying in our organizations? And how about those other users, not IT admins, like the chief financial officer, the HR manager, the R&D team? Are they not privileged users as well? How about extending PAM to them? That is why that's a concept of what we call extended PAM. So extended PAM is to cover all identities now. Not only the IT admins, but everything in the organizations. We should be able to mitigate and control anything that has identities. We should be able to discover and to be able to manage them across the organizations and apply specific standard policies. The question is, what if one of the critical and risky identity was able to be a compromise? What if they use another method of going to our organization? Instead of going to the usual method, they were able to find an access or vulnerability that they can exploit, like going to the console directly, bypassing the traditional PAM, or moving laterally within the organization because they were able to compromise the enterprise admin. And that is why part of the PAM solution, the extended PAM solution, should control the lateral movement, not at the gateway level, but at the operating system level, so that it will be a bulletproof solution. And of course, we should be able to apply the principle of least privilege, providing just in time and just enough privilege only to do your work, no more, no less, so that we can contain the privileges of a certain identity and limit the impact if there will be breaches, because nothing is unhackable. So before I close, I would like to discuss about DELINEA. So DELINEA is one of the PAM vendors that has presence in the Philippines. We have our local support here, around 50 Filipino people speaking Tagalog in our local language, in our local time, and supporting from level 1 up to level 3 support. Yan. And every time you will be buying DELINEA products, there will be new employees of DELINEA in the support team in the Philippines. Thank you, and that's all for me.